What's up everybody, and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to take a look at the all-new 2024 the S650 Ford Mustang. This particular one is an EcoBoost, about $36,000. Let's go ahead, pop the hood, see what is going to power the new 4-cylinder Ford Mustang. So if we go ahead and find the latch, I do really like how there actually is a gas strut now, so no more prop rod. But underneath the hood, this has a heavily reworked, from Ford's words, a 2.3 liter inline 4-cylinder EcoBoost, which is a turbocharged engine pumping out 315 horsepower with 350 pound-feet of torque. So of course, rear-wheel drive, 0 to 60 is about 4.5 seconds. So pretty stout for this car. This one's a 10-speed automatic. You can still get a 6-speed manual. Taking a look at the new styling for this generation, I love the way it comes together. It looks really aggressive, very bold, and these new LED headlights have a pretty cool triple beam design. So if I hit the unlock button, you can see them light up and then glow in the white color. Really cool look, blacked out housing. You're gonna see some sharp lines cascading towards this new grille. We got a satin silver on that pony badge. Huge grille to allow cooling to that engine. More cooling down below for the intercooler. And then pretty sharp design all throughout it. I think overall, in person especially, this is a really good looking Mustang. It definitely has all the vibes you're gonna want from a muscle car. Nice long front hood with the really sharp lines on the hood, fading towards the windshield. Can't complain at all. And then this particular one has an optional 19-inch setup for the wheels. Really cool split 5-spoke, kind of a liquid gray color. I think they look great for this car. Nice contours surrounding the wheel. Then a smooth body line throughout this side profile. You get a pretty nice side skirt as well, finished off in more of that black plastic, body colored door handle along with the mirror cap, and then black trim surrounding the windows. Got some more sharp lines throughout the roof with a shark fin antenna and third brake light. And then the side profile is kind of what you would expect from a Mustang fastback. It does appear a little bit longer than the previous generation S650, so I can definitely see a little bit more length to that rear bumper along with the trunk. Moving towards the rear, you got a nice big sharp body line throughout this rear fender arch just to give it that extra width. And then up on the trunk lid, you can see just how long it looks with this nice body colored section. In back, we got the new design for these taillights, still featuring a 3-bar. They're kind of razor sharp, which is really unique, and they are 3-dimensional still. You're gonna see the spoiler really protruding outwards, giving this a unique profile from the side. Then we also get your backup camera and that Mustang badge right in the center. Got some sharp body lines throughout it, a huge plastic diffuser with dual exhaust, parking sensors, reverse light. I like it a lot. I think they did a good job just giving it a more edgy appearance. And this is a base model car. Only has about $2 grand in options. Now, under here, we still have a button. You can press that, open up the trunk, and you're still gonna get a pretty nice trunk in here with all sorts of space. We have more space underneath with a tire inflator kit, which is pretty nice to see. Manually closing that, going through the door now. You're still gonna get back seats, of course. You can pull that lever, and then this one does have some power controls. You can pull that forward as well. To fold down these back seats, you just pull this, and these are gonna fold down nice and flat, giving you plenty of storage into the trunk. And then if I go ahead and climb inside, at 5'11", just like in the past, this is pretty cramped. My head is right up against here. So for a full-grown adult, obviously not the greatest back seat. However, it's here in a pinch if needed. Might be pretty decent for kids. So climbing out now, we can take a look at this interior, getting this driver's seat back to where it goes. And like I said, this is a base model car. So this is the entry-level seat, which looks fantastic. You have a synthetic leather material, the cool fabric as well. I'm really impressed with that. Door panel is gonna be finished off in the same design. Got the cool fabric, the synthetic padded leather, and then just smooth black plastic. You're gonna see some plastic carbon material, all of your controls as expected, and then even a Mustang logo right in there. So one more look at these seats. Definitely a good look for a basic spec. And then hopping inside, foot on the brake, we can fire it up. So this one's gonna have the 2 individual LCD screens, which is a really cool touch to see. Nice black leather steering wheel, flat bottom. You can see some silver, that carbon interior material. And then you're gonna see Bluetooth and audio, cruise control on the left, dock on the right for windshield wipers, and then your turn signals, of course, on the left. Now the digital gauge cluster is super configurable. So a shortcut to it is this Mustang logo down here. If we go ahead and press that, it pops up right here and you just hit cluster theme. So from here, we have a lot of different modes. So starting at the top, it's a pretty generic looking, pretty typical design. We have our normal mode as well, which is the same one. Our sport mode, which is really cool, kind of gives it a more futuristic and modern appearance. Really nice to see. Back into track, which gives you that huge tachometer. Calm screen is a little bit more simple with a central one. And a lot of people, a fan favorite is of course the Fox body. So you're gonna see these very retro analog gauges, certainly a unique touch for this car. Now, along with that, you can use this control panel and scroll through the center just a little bit, monitor a few vitals within the car. You have headlight controls and trunk release on the left, one of your air vents, just some smooth black plastic along the dash with more of this plastic carbon material. Makes its way all the way over to the air vent with Mustang. So no more traditional double bump, but honestly, this actually looks really cool in here. Higher trim levels will have one huge curved LCD integrated screen. So you got some plastic material, these air vent materials as well. And then if we go ahead and play with the new screen, this is pretty configurable, pretty simple. We have audio controls, phone integration. On the right side, you have a few controls for setting. You can monitor a few things within the vehicle. Go back to home. We have features. You can go into My Mustang, which is where we were for here. Change color, the custom mode, all sorts of different drive modes you're able to play with. Auxiliary gauges, which is a really neat touch. And then track apps as well. So you're gonna get quite a lot in a Mustang, even on a base offering. On the right side, you can scroll through a few different things as well. Back to home, if we go under apps, Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. And then down at the bottom, you're always gonna see climate. We have heated seats, you have your temperature, you can easily adjust. Fan speed, you can easily adjust as well. And then tapping the center screen, it'll pop up with all of your typical controls and things. So pretty nice design overall. I really do like that screen. You're gonna see a cool backup camera, parking sensors as well, once in reverse. And then underneath that, we have the engine start stop, of course, traction control, favorites, and some defrost settings. Volume on the right side, storage and plugs. No more S mode down here. We now have a low range instead for this particular spec. Smooth material for all the center, your armrests, and then you can see some storage. Glove box, as expected. But that is the interior of a base model new EcoBoost. Surprisingly very cool in here. Definitely pretty impressive. Up on top, black headliner. We have a sunglass holder, dome lights, and then a thin mirror. With that said, let's go for a spin in the new EcoBoost. All right, we are setting off now in the new EcoBoost. So we got the cool track gauges, we got the accessory gauges on here as well. And as far as drive modes go, we are, if I can find the right button, we are in the track mode. So it really just tightens up steering a little bit versus not having it as tight. Not too crazy. This one isn't a crazy performance specification, but just driving it around now, this is a pretty nice little car. Got plenty of gas, plenty of power for even just kind of letting it short shift. There's no paddle shifters or anything like that. This isn't a crazy performance one, but it feels kind of sporty, you know, taking some quicker turns, plenty of power to get out of them and everything like that. So far it seems like a pretty cool car to cruise around in. I like all the configurations. It feels really cool, honestly, especially for the price point. You know, this is not crazy expensive at all. It's a pretty affordable car, and yet the interior is nice to be in. You have really comfortable seats with good padding, great visibility all around, just like the previous generation. So it's an easy car just to drive from the day to day. Nothing really crazy about it at all. Good configurations for the seating to get nice and comfortable. This new steering wheel is really cool in your hands too. It's got a small feeling to it, so I definitely like that aspect. But just getting up to speed with those Fox body gauge cluster. You know, it is a pretty peppy 4-cylinder engine. Of course, with these 6-speeds, you have a lot more control with the power. And of course, not being a brand new engine, you could rip on it more a little bit. So overall, kind of first driving impressions, I think the interior is a really good place to be. Armrests are in a great place. They're nice and comfortable. The seats are comfortable. It's just a really easy, normal car to drive. And the fact that this does not break the bank, this is like 10 grand cheaper than the typical new car in today's market. So very easy car to get into. just driving around, you know, it's got the power to just zip around town, and it's got the comfort and semi-refinement level to feel like you're in something nicer. You know, for this price point, once again, it's quiet in here. We're going 45 miles an hour. I mean, it's just nice and quiet in here. Nothing out of the ordinary or anything like that, which is really good to see. It just feels well insulated, well balanced for what it is. Again, not a sports car, this particular spec, but it feels sporty, it feels fun, and for the price point, it feels like a nice place to be. Using the screen while driving actually isn't all too difficult. I've spent some more time with it now, of course, and it's actually pretty easy, pretty intuitive. The way everything works, it's super simple, and I like the shortcut with that Mustang logo just to get to some of those fun things, changing things, get into those gauges, things like that. So it's cool in here, it really is cool in here. Good storage solutions, everything like that. Not hating it. Now, as far as any performance things go for this particular spec, like I said, this is not a performance spec. We don't have any adaptive suspension or anything fun like that. No paddle shifters. It's a car that you can still zip around in. The steering and handling definitely leaves a lot to be desired, but you can get better trim levels. Of course, you can get a performance package on an EcoBoost or upgrade to a GT, gets performance package on those, or go for a dark horse. So there are way up from here. It only gets better from here. And if this is the base model car, this is like a 101A, I think was the package. It has like $2,000 in options on this. I am thoroughly impressed just driving in it. It feels like a fun, cool car to be in for a pretty affordable price. I don't think you can go wrong. This seems like a really good entry-level option on the new Ford Mustang.